Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelists Brad Ellis.
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Yo!
And he's ready.
He's stretching.
And my super-powered co-moderator, Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Oh.
This is the week. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it right now. We got Avengers just played with Huber today and Kyle Bossman. We got Justice League 4-hour version. We got Winter Soldier and Falcon this weekend. It's just a lot.
Things are popping off.
Things are popping off for sure. And we might be talking about a game later on in this podcast that also features superpowers, a superpower story of a different variety, but superpowers nonetheless. Distinguished guests, we are here to discuss some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games. But before we do that, we must first answer for all of the mistakes that we made last week. Daniel Bloodworth, begin corrections music, please. Boop. Michelangelo yells party, not cowabunga, in the original theme song. Doesn't yell cowabunga, Michael Damiani. This is from Taco, who you might be familiar with. Pokemon Legends is a mainline Pokemon game. Mainline is classified as part of the Pocket Monster series in Japan, not a spin-off. And so it is indeed unique that there is only one version. It's speculated that because Legends is apparently a single-player focused game, there will be either limited or no direct trading, so no multiple versions with version-exclusive Pokemon would no longer be necessary. I will take his word for that. Maury Povich does the infamous You Are the Father segments, not Jerry Springer.
So many people.
I knew
so many people knew that.
I knew it wasn't Springer, but that
you knew that. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know who it was. I knew it was not Springer, but you got it. Sometimes you don't want to stop for 5 minutes thinking about it on a podcast. There is a Shamisen Guitar Hero-esque arcade cabinet in Japan. It's called Shamisen Brothers. I've seen footage of it. 'Tis real.
Sweet.
BPM bullets per minute used assets from Paragon. Not necessarily a correction, but good fun to know. There's also a new game coming out that is using it called Fault that has not launched yet. And it is pronounced Suicune. Suicune. And corrections music, please. Let's start this off on the right note with some good news, something in video games that we can be proud of, a silver lining for this last week. This is could be a potentially controversial silver lining, but hopefully this will be the last time we get.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, this
controversial.
Well, it depending on who you ask, depending on potentially what countries they are in, but this could be a silver lining because this might be the last time we hear about this game either going somewhere or not going somewhere. From Happy Gaming, Devotion, the Taiwanese horror game from Red Candle Games, who previously developed Detention, is finally available to the public through their website. Previously, the game was delisted from Steam, made unavailable because of a controversy surrounding the game's assets that included a meme of the Chinese president. While it was falsely rumored to be put on GOG several months prior, the game is now officially available DRM-free via the company's website. So hopefully now that they have ownership over their own property, anybody can check that game out. If you're not interested, if you have issues with that game, you do you. But if you are curious about that, go check it out. It's available. This was it still is a relatively light news week. I was scrounging around for headlines, going into a stream that I had earlier today with Play Avengers. Play Avengers is their Twitter account. Marvel's Avengers, and we'll get to that in a second. And while we were streaming, Sony bought Evo. Sony and PlayStation.
You were streaming.
Yeah.
Well, Sony plus RTS.
Which didn't exist before. RTS is now, from the esports marketing company Endeavor, created RTS for this acquisition. It's a brand new company. They are now partnering. It was interesting wording in the post. They said, we're partnering with Sony and RTS. And they are scheduled for this August. Sadly, they had to cancel, obviously, EVO 2020, just like everyone had to cancel everything in 2020. But then they tried EVO Online. That was shut down after their former CEO was accused of misconduct. They actually alluded to that in the message that they posted today as well, where they were like, we still stand by everything that we said previously. But they are going to give EVO Online this August a shot. As you can imagine, who is not on this podcast but is a part of Easy Allies, Ben Moore is flipping out about this. And so I don't have a ton of esports angles. I got quotes here, I got questions, but I'm curious who on this panel is most excited about EVO still happening. I think it was kind of the question. Was that does this mean, I think almost every fighting tournament, almost every gaming tournament is like, well, we're kind of screwed right now. I saw, going back and reading old stories, a lot of people were like eating just insane hotel fees for cancellations and stuff like that. And you can't just, produce that money out of thin air. So Sony showed up with the money. we're doing Evo again, baby. What do you think?
I think it's cool. This is a huge industry that I am just like not invested in nor a part of. But esports and like competitive gaming is so huge. So to have Sony back it just makes it feel more secure.
Yeah.
I just don't know where that goes into with like first party stuff, or if that's weird with, the way the tournaments are hosted now. I don't know the intricacies of that, but it seems like it could potentially be more stable and lucrative even with Sony's backing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things this could mean, I guess. I know a lot of people worry about other fighting games showing up there. They said they were still going to keep other platforms, but sounds like Nintendo's kind of on the fence already. No, I mean, they already were kind of on the fence. But
Okay.
They're like, who knows if Smash will show up there again. This does make me think that Sony... Ben brought this up in our Slack, too, and I kind of agreed that maybe Street Fighter 6 will once again be PlayStation and PC exclusive. Like, they're going in on fighting games right now, and I think there has to be a reason behind it. I think they got something cooked. Like, I don't know. I know everyone wants them. I don't know if it's PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale or anything like that.
I've seen a lot of people talking about it.
But it does make me wonder if they have something in store.
Yeah.
It's like, why else would they buy it?
Yeah, it seems like a huge move.
Yeah, it seems like a huge move. I feel like, but I also think that like what Brandon was talking about with the hits that Evo had last year, that maybe that like they needed somebody and Sony was there to say like, hey, this is a fair investment. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're working on a fighting game, but it's just like they don't want Evo to go away, and they know that most of the big fighting games are on PlayStation, even if they are on other platforms, so they can kind of leverage that to their favor. Yeah, I think it's interesting to me because it's like you guys all bring up esports, and I'm like, man, Evo like doesn't even feel like esports because it like predates esports. Like it's its own. It feels like a different culture to me, even though I haven't tuned into it that much.
In its earliest state, it was 96. I think it was formed. I'm doing some reading today. It had a different name, Battle by the Bay, I believe, something like that.
But in a weird way, it's like esports has kind of come and like surpassed Evo in terms of like a lot of the budget and marketing and just the presentation wise, I think in some instances. And so it's one of those things where like I have like a lot of the same like back and forth that I have with we were talking about Microsoft and Bethesda. It's like, okay, this is cool. This is gonna help them grow the Evo brand and visibility and get things out there a lot stronger than they have in the past. But at the same time, like you worry about how much of that grassroots feel might get lost in that. How hard is it going to be for somebody to kind of walk up and like upset the scales and the environment of everything getting just that much more visibility and prize money and all that kind of thing.
Do you think that grassroots is essential? Do you think that's really important, Blood, to the mantra of it? Because of the fighting tournaments that I've seen, of course, just awful, horrible brand manager in me is like, I wonder if we threw, another mill at this. I wonder if you could do that. I wonder if you could have, there's a better presentation, potentially better venues.
That one ESPN year was big. I remember that was like the biggest Street Fighter that year on ESPN.
And obviously you want the people that know and love this the most to be the ones that are planning it, to be the ones that are talking to their audience about it. But at the same time, getting a backing like this, I would be surprised if Sony shuts out people other than Sony properties. Mark Julio, Evo's head of business development, might be Julio, also said on Twitter, also very important to note, Evo is still open to all platforms. Open. Yeah. The teams at PlayStation and RTS are enabling us to continue working with our community to support fighting games.
Open, but I wonder if like other people are open to Evo now.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, Sony may be cool with it, but it's like, is Nintendo cool with that now?
It's funny, Brad, because you want to keep your comments as wide as possible. Like, there's a lot of people that this could basically affect. You go to Twitter, and it's just all, like, Smash. Like, that's the only thing anyone's talking about.
Smash,
phew, Smash is saved. But, like, we don't, until Nintendo says that, we don't know.
And Nintendo's, statement is just very, it it's not clear.
Yeah.
They're not in, they're not out. But they're just like, well, we'll see.
There's a meeting going on.
Yeah, it could happen. It might not happen.
Yeah.
It might be they wait and see what Evo looks like this year. And if it looks like a big PlayStation giant, blowout, then maybe they don't want to be part of the PlayStation event next year.
Man, it'd be weird with no Smash, but
Wouldn't feel right.
What can you do, I guess? Like, Guilty Gear is going to be out by then, and that'll be pretty hype.
Yeah. Guilty Gear will probably be the newest game there.
Yeah, Strive.
How pivotal are those lineups, Brad? Because I hear that conversation a lot when they get announced. It's always a big thing when, like, okay, we know what the lineup is, and just like, whoa, strange, this wasn't in, or this was, and we weren't expecting that necessarily to be that competitive, or this game's really old, or this game's too new to be included. But then when Evo actually happens, I never really hear a lot of fallout of like, see, I knew that one game wasn't going to be there, and then Evo sucked because it wasn't there. Like,
Right.
if it would Smash potentially
I
like really
think
hurt viewership?
Smash
if it
is
wasn't there?
just so massive.
Yeah.
Like, it's a juggernaut, like Super Smash. Like, sometimes it gets laughed at in the fighting game community and stuff like that. It's not a real fighting game, but it's immensely popular and tons of people tune in for it. And it's been around so long, it's just something that people expect. Like when Melee got taken out, I think it was last year or whatever like that, people were not happy about Melee being gone. And now if there's no Smash, period, like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, no Smash is better than no Evo, right? At the end of the day.
Of course.
Sure.
So I wonder.
Like, there's still tons of great fighting games out there, but yeah.
So I wonder if I wonder if Evo fans who aren't PlayStation fans, I wonder if that's kind of like what they're holding on to, or maybe at the end, when it, come August, they'll be like, well,
Gotta
at
see the
least somebody
roster
stepping in.
and all that stuff.
But yeah, the 4 games that they have right now confirmed are Guilty Gear Strive, which you mentioned, Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, and Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition. But more to be announced.
Okay.
And this one is still going to be just online this year because of
Fighters or something, Dragon Ball
too
Fighters.
soon to do a giant event.
Yeah, and it's online only now, so hopefully your net code's good.
Seriously.
Well, that was one of the things that might have prevented Smash from being in this year, anyways. So
yeah.
Could be bad.
But it's interesting if we can get out of the crazy health mess that we're in 2022. If Sony throws an in-person Evo and does not go to E3 and does not have a not a state of play, but a hey Sony fans, what is it called?
PSX.
PSX. Well, they used to do Capcom Cup at PSX.
This will be like their only like live event if
Yeah.
they really brand it something that they have done, or if they just kind of like sit in the background.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, it's going to come down to how this stuff gets presented, and it's like, is PlayStation and RTS just going to look like sponsors of this thing, or is it going to look like they're running the show in some way? I think that's the question. Is like, what is the involvement level?
Yeah.
Brad, if you were putting together a fighting tournament and you just couldn't do it this year, you're like, I just don't, it doesn't make sense to do it online, or let's say it's last year and you're like putting it together and then you ate like just thousands and thousands of dollars because you had to pay this hotel who was like, hey, sorry, we're between a rock and a hard place with the government of this state, shutting us down. Are you emboldened by this news? Or are you like, oh, we're back? Or is it just like, this is just what Sony's going to do? Or do you think this could revitalize put a shot in the arm in the industry? Because I don't think the FGC is like down on fighting games, but like it's also worth pointing out that Activision Blizzard this week let go reportedly up to 100, almost 200 people from their esports division. So, which is the almost exact opposite of what Sony's doing. And so,
that's a lot of people.
Even though it was originally 50 reported, and then that number jumped a bit. And of course, Kotick is getting still just like bonuses across bonuses because Activision
200 million or something like that.
Activision just exploded this year. So, I just wonder kind of the sentimentality, kind of what this means just in terms of the popularity of fighting tournaments across the board. If this is going to give anyone a shot in the arm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell because I don't really follow fighting games that much, but I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't do much for me if I was doing my own thing. Like, it's cool that Evo is going to keep going and have financial backing, but if I was running my own, like, fighting game tournament, that shit ain't going to help me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'd probably take the year off, I guess.
What do you think, Huber? Do you still do it? Do you still do your tourney? Maybe in September?
I would try to have some backdoor shady deals with Sony at this point. I would be making calls to Sony, trying to get some partnerships.
Grovel.
Some kind of partnerships, some kind of sponsors, like getting the smaller tournaments to, supplement the big ones.
Sure.
I think there's potential here. Again, I don't know the inner workings of any of this stuff.
Right.
So, the fact that Sony has said they're open to everything is a good first sign,
Right.
We're not going to come in here and start disrupting everything all crazy style. So in the short term, it seems okay, and then time will tell.
Yeah.
How well they.
I
treat
wonder if
everyone.
Microsoft will be cool if Killer Instinct shows up there again. Because that has good netcode, and if Microsoft's just like, yeah, totally cool.
Yeah. See what
Red-
Nintendo does.
Red isn't full of fighting games, but he knows good netcode when he sees it. He can spot it.
I just know.
Right.
I've heard about it.
But those two,
Packet loss.
those are
Packet loss, yeah.
those are the two big questions, and just an interesting test to see if Sony's willing to play ball. Just kind of in this industry. It's interesting that obviously this acquisition and Bethesda are two completely opposite things in terms of what they're buying, why they're buying, and obviously how much money is being spent on it. But it'll be an interesting bar as far as how open these two companies are going to be to allowing other properties in.
Right.
Really smart investment for Sony too, because now they own a piece of esports in a way, competitive gaming.
Sure.
They have this brand now.
And we're saying,
So it's just
Capcom Cup's at
another-
PSX, so
Yeah, it's just another type of thing in the video game industry that they are now involved in. They got PSVR going, they got fighting tournaments going, so just another place.
Stephen Roberts, Sony's vice president of global competitive gaming, said, "Fighting games have been a vital part of PlayStation's legacy and our community since the very beginning. Battle Arena Toshinden? Anybody?
Yeah, I played that.
And we've been thrilled to partner with EVO over the years. This joint acquisition with RTS makes a new chapter of collaboration with EVO's founders, Tom and Tony Cannon, who are also extremely stoked, and their passionate community of fighting game fans." Fingers crossed. We will see.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'd be nice having Ben on to discuss this stuff, but we do have Huber on now. Huber doesn't know a ton about fighting games. What about Life is Strange? What if we take a pivot right now
I love it.
into another category?
Yes.
I got 3 different notes here. One of them should just be let Huber go, unleash the beast. It's so funny for you to have this voracious hype over something so calming and just such a not necessarily calming, because these are pretty dramatic moments that are in these games, but these are not big budget. This is not a big budget action franchise. You are not Hulk rampaging around picking up people and chucking them.
Bonds, Jones, bonds. Life is Strange has strong bonds.
How do the bonds look in Life is Strange True Colors, announced this morning, in a special Square Enix event?
They look good. Not much has been revealed. Just a little bit. Just the premise. Kind of the setting. We are Alex Chen, and we are going to a fictional town in Colorado. It's called Haven. I had it right here.
Springs.
Haven Springs. And there is a mystery about our brother. So they're sticking with brother drama, Bloodworth, trying to uncover this mystery. And her power this time around, because Life is Strange is all about having powers, max rewinding time and stuff. This time around, it's empathy. The power to feel and manipulate, kind of control other people's emotions. Whether that's anger or sadness or, making them more angry or calm, potentially in certain situations. And then the other big reveal was Steph from Life is Strange Before the Storm is a huge supporting character this time around. She was a Blackwell student in that game, and really cool character. It didn't even register at first, because I was just like, what's going on? Where are we? What's happening in the game? And then I was like, wait a second, she looks familiar.
Right. I had that moment of she looks familiar, but I'm like,
Yeah.
is she just another character that's supposed to look like someone? Yeah, because it's been a while.
Yeah.
And then they said, it's like, oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. No spoilers, but you play D&D with her in Before the Storm, and it's really, really fun. So, really cool.
Sure,
But that's kind of
Black Blood.
the initial, yeah.
Yeah, well, they talked about she and there's another guy too that the romance options. So they touched on that. They also touched on the fact that this game will not be released episodically, but it will still be episodic in a way. They talked about there will be chapter breaks for you to like take a breath, kind of like stop for the night, let yourself process what's just happened. But I think that's interesting. I think that's an interesting way for them to approach this problem because, you know, with Life is Strange 2 in particular, just the gaps between episodes were so long and we didn't know when they were going to come. And then Tell Me Why kind of tried to solve it by getting everything ready and then releasing them 1 week apart. And this one is just like, nope, it's just going to be a full
I think it's the smart
release.
move. I think it's the smart move. I saw people complaining also about the price tag, and to me, it means take us seriously. Take us seriously.
What was the full
now.
price tag?
$60.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you had the whole thing put together, like, you're talking a good 20, 30 hours.
Yeah, big game. And, you know, people like to binge nowadays. I talk to so many people who are like, I'm just going to wait for the whole thing to come out. And then a year goes by and it's done. You know, they're on to the next thing or they've moved on. So I think giving people more options. If you want to binge it, go right ahead. If you want to stop and pause and take your time, you can do that as well. So just giving people more options. I like it.
Huber, you stayed up until sunrise to watch Justice League, the 4-hour Zack Snyder version last night.
Of course.
Will you, quote, take a breather and stop for the night
I will.
when this game launches? Yes.
I
okay.
actually, this is the series that actually changed my mind on episodic games and waiting for them. Life is Strange 2 specifically, I loved our conversations, Bloodworth and Elise, just in between each one, and just the months of like holding on to it in between episodes for months at a time, you know, thinking about these characters, the journey that they're on, and then just that excitement and getting to repeat that so many times, the excitement of a new episode coming out and getting to get hyped and wait for, oh, when's it coming out? It's coming out tonight, 9 o'clock, or, you know, whenever it comes out, all right, boot it up. So I love that excitement. But this is cool too, because now we get it all at once, and, you know, I'll have to restrain myself, you know, just one chapter at a time, take it easy, because I do like that.
Does this seem like a test, Bloodworth, or does this seem like the old plan didn't work in terms of episodic? You know, where they like just didn't hit our goals, and so this is the way we want to do it moving forward. Or like, hey, you know, this is our flagship franchise. Let's give it a shot.
Well, I mean, it's a Square Enix, so it's not their flagship franchise for sure. Which
but it's not. Is it not Don't
It's
Nod?
a different studio. Right?
not Donut. I don't even know if Donut's ever gonna be on Life is Strange after this. We'll have to see, but I think that they're moving on. They're doing other things.
Dude,
but yeah,
don't
so this
be
is
back.
Deck 9. This is the same developer that made Before the Storm, and they've been working on this since 2017. So it's been in the works for a good while.
Yep.
It does environments in particular look like a good step up, which I think that's one thing that's going to be exciting is just getting to dig into these locations, because that's one of the series' strengths is just being able to look around any given location and see all of this unique decoration stuff on people's walls.
So cozy, dude. The town.
dirty clothes strewn across the room, and just like they just tell so much of a story, you know, like it's sort of like The Last of Us, but like because they're in such smaller spaces, they can even like amplify it even more. You know, every place that you go feels like a real person's room.
Yeah, like Life is Strange 2 Blood, I remember playing at night a lot because there was just a lot of like camping. You're out in the woods, and then like this just seems like bright sunny days. Like, all right.
But it isn't a Life is Strange 3. Like, to have a subtitle like that, do we think that's going to be the go-to for the franchise? It's weird that it seems kind of like an offshoot game and yet is the whole package, is a $60 release. I wonder
I think it's smart again too. Like this is this is a key moment for this franchise. This is a critically acclaimed franchise, but it can still grow, you know? I know a lot of people that have played it, but I still know a lot of people who have not played it. So I think this moment with the remasters coming out just before, getting everyone caught up that way, releasing it all at once, not doing episodic, I think this is another test to kind of see how big this franchise can get.
Yeah. Before the Storm was very clearly a side thing. You know, it was going back to, you know, a character that people really were interested in and wanted to learn more about. This, even though it's not labeled 3, I would find it really hard for them to come in and swoop in and say, like, now this is Life is Strange 3.
Sure,
like, now,
yeah.
This is like a completely new character, new circumstance, you know. So just like Life is Strange 2 brought in new characters, new power, all of this stuff. This is like, this feels like a Life is Strange 3, like in every way. Like, it's not short, you know, it's not a side thing, it's not a branching off. It's really like, here's your new character, here's their power. Will this ever lead to anything? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that's what you save those numbers for.
Will we ever
save the
assemble
number
the
entries.
team? I don't know.
Definitely,
Yeah, it's like
definitely.
Avengers style.
Yeah. You save those number entries, you make it a big deal.
How long did it take? 11 years? How long's it been since the first Life is Strange? How do we, you know, what will be the Infinity War saga
Yeah,
of
Jones,
the Life is
totally.
Strange universe?
And then that remaster news, new animations and stuff. It's not just a simple port job. It's like full.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they have
reworked.
people motion capture, yeah.
That'll help that game a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because Life is Strange 1 specifically, and even Before the Storm is a little technically rough around
much
the
more
edges.
modest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you foresee what's going to be the larger group of people acquiring those remasters? People who have not played these games, or people who play them and love them and want to go back and revisit that story?
Both.
You think it'll be even?
Fans are in. Hopefully, another wave of fans is also in.
I think a lot of it will
Yeah.
actually depend on how True Colors actually does. Because, you know, if this game seems like it's, a quote unquote worthy successor, and a lot of people are talking about it, and it doesn't have that weird roller coaster of buzz going away because it's only the first episode, then I could see a lot of people like, well, I want to get into this and I want to get into this series, so let me, hit up this remaster and start there.
Oh, that roller coaster you're talking about. But I didn't even think about that aspect of episodic releases. Each episode gets reviewed. So it's just like, even if you're not playing Life is Strange, a lot of people will just click on a review. Oh, this episode got a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Oh, okay, my hype's going down for that series. Like, whatever. Kind of in the back of your mind. Just like more to lose with it being episodic. Like, just get the whole story out at once. One raw score.
Yeah. And plus the fact that once you get into those other episodes, like, everything builds on itself in such a way that every trailer for a new episode is a spoiler for the episode.
We couldn't even talk about it. Yeah.
But they're also crazy. Some of those later season trailers are like 40 seconds long. It's just like a shot of them on a cliff. Like, okay, that happened. And you're like, what? Cool teaser.
Totally.
Yeah, it's like the trailer equivalent of like a scenes from the next episode, just like very, very short. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what Telltale does, the new Telltale, Wolf Among Us 2, if we ever get that, how that will be packaged. How many people are in the episodic game nowadays in terms of breaking games up, do stuff
They
like
just
that?
came out with a pretty solid Werewolf the Apocalypse style Telltale game recently.
But is that episodic? Hitman tried it and then they moved away and they went back to
maybe it's not even episodic.
We're just gonna do one big package deal.
Yeah.
Is that the end of an era? Is that something that's
maybe because a lot of people might have bought an episode or two and just never got around to the other ones.
Yep.
Right.
Now they can get all the cash money, baby, up
you
front.
You just drop it. It's asking a lot.
It's a weird thing.
It's asking a lot of someone to be that committed to you. Like, it's something you have to think about consciously. Keeping tabs on this thing that will every 3 months, like, okay, gotta get this one, buy it, download it, play it, buy it. Like, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah,
For
that's why I
gamers,
think
conscious thinking, it's rough.
On top of everything else, I mean.
That the ironic thing is that's why I think Tell Me Why did it a really good way.
Yeah,
you know,
3
by
weeks.
having everything ready to go, even though that's the one I haven't played yet. But yeah, I feel like a week or two apart.
Yeah.
You know, a month at most. When you start talking about 3 months between episodes, then it's just like it just gets so buried and lost.
I remember some pretty brutal nights of me texting Blood on Slack, just like, where is it? Where is the next episode? I'm dying. I'm just like, yo, I'm just gonna replay the last episode. Like, I can't wait. Just unbearable weight.
It always cracked me up. When people, like a new book comes out or something in a book series, people are always anticipating, and they've been waiting years for it, and then it's like 7 a.m. the next day, done. And it's like,
done.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because you know that conversation is going to happen when this comes out. People are going to be like, there's definitely going to be some people on the fence that are like, I wish I would have waited 3 months for that. Like, what? You know, I wonder what those takes are going to be, if something is going to be lost. But still got a lot of catching up to do on that series. I only played the first Life is Strange, played through all of that. But
It's pretty quick, you know. There's two, the 1 and 2, and then Before the Storm is only 3 episodes, and then of course the Captain Spirit episode as well. Which I thought they would do maybe something like that today. I thought maybe we could get a little sneak attack, you know, one-off shadow drop.
Just walk down to town.
But,
Yeah. Brandon, you know what I remember too is remember when they did King's Quest, the episode of King's Quest, and
yes.
I played that first episode and like, oh, this is great, I love this. Never played any of the others.
I bought it. I
have the
and
whole
never played
thing.
it. Same.
I
Yep.
think I did 2.5. I don't think I finished the third one. I did go back to it because Amanda's a huge King's Quest fan, so that was a big deal. But I wonder if it's. I mean, obviously you have games that have, like, you know, updates and DLC and stuff like that. You know, various chapters that way. But it's gonna be interesting to see, because this. I mean, I'm Hubert. I know this is a franchise that you love. I'm proud of them that they're breaking out remasters. You know, that's not a tiny deal.
Good time.
That's not just something
Good move.
You have somebody do for you. You know, like that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, Square doing that for Life is Strange seems weird.
Just kind of sets the bar for me in terms of like what their stake in this franchise, and how, you know, they recognize that people are going to want to go back and play these things again. People going into True Colors are going to be curious. I wonder if
they back it.
I always forget the name of this poor kid, Captain. What's his name? What's the
Spirit?
Kid? It's Captain Spirit. At least I get the captain right. I wonder if that's going to be packaged in, or if that just, like, that looked okay.
No, because they're not doing anything for Life is Strange 2. It's just the first game of Before the Storm.
Yeah. Last gen.
But it'll be interesting to see how that does via sales. Of course, this was announced at a Square Enix Presents this morning. Square Enix Presents, which was their first, like, kind of. I mean, they've done E3 type stuff, but this is their first just random. Hey, it's a Thursday. Let's drop some news. You see how this podcast isn't tonight, right? Let's drop some news. I wonder if Damiani knew that there was going to be Project Athia updates.
If he had known, he would have joined us.
If
we
he
would have had
tuned
him.
in.
We would have had him.
Been there.
Life is Strange isn't going to get Damiani out of bed.
There was no hand of that.
There was zero.
Right.
Of
course.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because I went into this thinking, like, okay, this is basically going to be like the Square Enix West, right? Like, we were talking about Tomb Raider and Outriders and Life is Strange. Like, okay, like, there's nothing on here that indicates like a Final Fantasy game or a Saga game or any of these things. But they had Forspoken there at the end, and then they had this weird little set of Taito games that like got wedged in there for like 3 minutes after the mobile games.
Dude, I marked out hard on that Hitman announcement, and I got played. I was like, what is this?
We were in the mobile section here.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was going to be some co-op Hitman thing. My hype was at a 10, and then it was like Sniper Assassins. I was like, okay, co-op Sniper, cool, like 7 or 8 out of 10 hype, and then it was mobile, and I was like, shit.
We went into that with mobile up front.
Yeah.
But okay.
I know, dude. The hype got the better of me.
That was so funny to me though, because it's like, man, the Hitman is not Square Enix anymore. But apparently they still said, hey, Square Enix Montreal, you want to do another one of these? IO, you guys cool with us doing another one of these? Okay.
Yeah. Some past relationships, still moving forward. I like that.
But I do think that, the Square Enix Montreal mobile efforts have been really good and something that a lot of core gamers can connect to a lot better than most mobile games.
Yeah.
I think that both that and Just Cause, could be decent. Could be stuff that we're into.
We got new footage of an open world Square Enix Magic game. What are we doing talking about mobile right now?
I know. I've been
this is
waiting
coming
for
from
it.
me. We'll get to mobile in a second.
Save the best for
talking
last.
about the whole
I
event.
want to talk about
Save
Just
the best
Cause
for
Mobile.
last.
Believe me, I want to talk about
They
Just
saved
Cause
for the
Mobile.
best to last.
You said something kind of F word, Bloodworth. What was that? You said
Forspoken.
Forspoken. It's always rough when they drop the crazy fantasy font and you're like, oh, here comes the name. It's like,
Forspoken?
is that an O? I'm pretty sure that's an O. I'm not quite sure. Forspoken, introduced by Ella Balinska, who's playing Frey Holland. And
Good vibes.
sneakers and a t-shirt comes out
Great
in the gameplay.
vibes. And then the first line she utters in the trailer is that a fucking dragon? Amazing. Immediate.
Yeah.
What a reveal. Here is this person who plays the character. You seem really cool. Cut to her character in the game. Hilarious first line. Everyone was on board right away.
But the modern twist I thought was kind of interesting, especially coming from Square Enix. It's almost like a fantasy in real life, like in the
fantasy based on reality.
you mean
John?
Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah. I mean, for Final Fantasy 15 vibes for sure, right, Brad? I mean, just the seeing her jumping around
Oh,
these
actually,
big
I
open
haven't watched
areas.
the trailer. I just saw screenshots.
Lots of jumping. They
It looks like Warframe vibes. The movement.
She moves real
Warframe?
fast, yeah.
Cool. The way she was moving.
Hey, I'm down.
they actually
And it's funny because they specifically used the words like speed and fluidity, which is pretty much what I said.
Spider-Man.
Speed and fluidity.
There's also a zombie bear for Huber.
The bear looked amazing. I forgot about that. Oh, that bear looked good. Yeah. Bears are in right now. They're so in.
at last, finally.
Yo, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Jones. Good bears.
You just home run the enemies in that game.
The bear.
I teed off many a bear up into the clouds
Brutal.
in that game. That was a lot of fun. But I wasn't expecting to see anything more of this game for a while.
Especially
and we didn't
gameplay.
see a ton of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But even the game in motion was very surprising.
And they teased us a little bit. They had this, like a character introduction. They showed you the actor who's going to be playing her, and then you got to see that she was pretty well represented in the game and looked pretty good as far as character models go and her performance. She's under duress running from this dragon. And then the logo reveal. You're like, okay, it's an actor reveal, logo reveal, and we're done. And then wait, teleport, run, jog.
Like walk on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool movement.
Lots of natural environments. I'm not sure how many. We see some crumbling buildings and stuff. It's kind of post-apocalyptic. What are our
Well, I mean,
takes? What do we
it's
think's going on
taking
this
place
world?
in another world. It's almost like a Narnia type of thing where she just gets pulled into the whatever Athia is. So yeah, that's going to be the kind of the key mystery. And then for whatever reason she's got magic powers. I'm looking at a screenshot now where she's just strangling a bunch of wolves with a bunch of roots coming out of the ground.
Right.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
So yeah, I wonder if specifically just having magic powers, it's just her in this cloak, and obviously she might get some crazy staff or something later.
And
but
some sneakers.
I wonder, and some. Did she keep the sneakers? Can you see the sneakers with the cloak?
I'm seeing her with sneakers, a cloak, and gliding through the air right now in this
Nice.
screenshot.
But I wonder if the thought
Good
process
looking
was
bear.
could we have kind of a one person fantasy fellowship, one person who handles AoE attacks, who handles healing, who one person who can just do all of that stuff. Okay, you psycho, zombie bear, you stay over there while I light this thing on fire and then do something else.
This seems like Square's going for an open world game style of I can see it like Assassin's Creed or something like that. You're just this character in this big world, and you explore the world like you do in Assassin's Creed. Final Fantasy games are sometimes open world, but not quite like that. I can see them doing something with like that, especially because it seems like speed and momentum is such a huge part of the game. I think you're gonna be running like in a big open world doing Jones stuff.
Yes.
Sprinting around.
Yeah, they mentioned scaling cliffs, leaping across ravines. It's like, yeah.
No people though. No structures, no buildings, no.
Not
It's
yet.
interesting. No, so yeah, obviously that's like something you would
This
show. Later on.
this screenshot, there's two like golem looking dudes. Looks kind of intense. Humanoid looking.
Yeah. Are they
I don't know
getting
if
hit?
it's-
Is she about to fight them? What's going?
She has like a Doctor Strange. She has like a Doctor Strange ward up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
big.
I do.
This thing. Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of got that going.
What color is it? Is it yellow orange? Is that what you mean?
It's yellow, not
Okay.
really orange like Doctor Strange.
All right. All right.
More of a light yellow.
So they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
some buildings and like old castles and stuff.
Oh, in
Big old
screenshots?
tower.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. But yeah, I'm assuming the clip that we see is probably early on in the game, like you were saying. If it's like a Narnia vibes, is maybe after, like right when she gets into this
it's
world.
gonna be like, what happened to this world?
Yeah,
Where is everybody?
I almost
And
wonder if like she
slowly-
goes exploring a castle and then somehow like gets pulled in while she's in the castle, because like she said, like with the reaction of the dragon, she doesn't seem to know what's going on at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Right.
She's shocked. Do we know for certain, is this a brand new IP? Is this going to tie into any
I
other
think it's new.
This is a
franchise?
totally
This
new
is
IP,
yeah.
very exciting.
Is this on all of our radars? Is this
Oh,
4
yeah.
Why
four?
wouldn't it be?
This
Yeah,
game,
it's a Square.
I don't know,
Or,
dude. Not every
like, open
game
world-
is. It's
yeah.
rare when something hits everybody. You know, I didn't play Final Fantasy 15. I'm a big Final Fantasy fan.
they've done a good job of making it feel mysterious and important. It feels both. Like they had my attention.
Sure. I mean, I get the vibe this is a ways off, but I appreciate that they're like, this is a long ways off. Just have her run around some trees. Just have her hop
Have
around
a bear
a lot.
lunge at her.
She does like the same twisty move like 5 times in a row, and like I got a jolt. I was like, oh, there she goes. Whoa, we're actually like, you know, seeing this game in motion. We have a title. Yeah, this was, I think, you know, there's a ton to talk about, but I think this was a surprise. Not saying anything against Square Enix or any of the other games on the list, but we saw this initial lineup and we questioned whether this was going to be something. Obviously, Huber's going to freak out about Life is Strange. That's something we want to record for posterity. But were you more surprised by what you saw from Life is Strange, or the fact that Forspoken was there, Huber?
Forspoken for sure, because they said Life is Strange was coming. They hyped it up, new cast, new characters, new powers. So I was expecting all those things, and we got it. And I was not expecting Forspoken gameplay whatsoever. Yeah, the world. I hope the world is cool to play in, because moving through it looks fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's fun to fight things and explore.
Daniel Bloodworth, 2 months from now, after no updates whatsoever on this game, not on social media, not on nothing, nobody brings it up, Damiani does not reference it, will you be able to recall the name Forspoken? Be like that Project Athia. You'd be like, forbearance?
Returnal.
Right.
Outspook-
I don't know. That's a weird word. It's a weird word.
I think 2 months.
Just another day at Square.
Just another day. Flinging spells.
Yeah, I mean, it's
strangling
no
zombie
triangle
bears.
strategy, right?
Just-
So
Just another day. And now, a word from our sponsors. You know that credit card, the one that you're afraid to look at to see what the balance is. If you've been avoiding your debt, it's time to confront it, and Upstart can help you face it and finally pay it off. Last year showed us that you never know what life is going to throw at you, and if you use credit cards to pay for unexpected expenses, it can be overwhelming to manage that debt. You can take control with Upstart, so you know exactly what to expect. If you have multiple credit cards, you know that tracking multiple balances, due dates, and website logins can be stressful. Just the logins. Just logins in general. I am completely there. There is always one login. Just one thing. It's always some game service or something.
So right.
I'm not saying it's Uplay, but it probably is. And you're just like, what the hell could that be? And I log all of them on my phone. I write them all down on my phone. And then I'm just going like, of course I didn't write that one down. I thought I would know that password. No. Upstart makes things simple with one monthly payment in one place. Upstart is the fast and easy way to get a personal loan to pay off your debt all online, whether it's to pay off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses. Over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple, fixed monthly payment. Upstart finds smarter rates and trusted partners because they assess more than just your credit score. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans from $1,000 to $50,000. You can get approved the same day and receive funds as fast as one business day. If debt is taking over your life, it's time to get a fresh start with Upstart. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/easyallies. One word, that's upstart.com/easyallies. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know that we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. That's upstart.com/easyallies. Does it make sense? The same company who controls half of online retail also passively eavesdrops on your private conversations at home. What about the idea that a single company controls 90%? It's like I'm pitching a game here. What about the idea that a single company controls 90% of internet searches, runs your email service, and gets to track everything you do on your smartphone? Not to mention coming up with cool new things that we use, and then they get rid of them. Cool new services that we dig, and then they're gone. Big tech is more powerful than most countries are, and they profit by exploiting your personal data. It's time to put a layer of protection between your online activity and these tech juggernauts. And that's why you use ExpressVPN. Think about how much of your life is on the internet. Sadly, every site you visit, video you watch, or message you send gets tracked and data mined. When you run ExpressVPN on your device, the software hides your IP address, something big tech can use to personally identify you. So ExpressVPN makes your activity harder to trace and sell to advertisers. ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of your internet data to keep you safe from hackers and eavesdroppers on your network. And ExpressVPN does all of this without slowing your connection. That's why it's rated the #1 VPN service by CNET and Wired. What I like most about ExpressVPN is how easy it is to use. Download the app on your phone or computer, tap one button, and you're protected. Hubert, tonight in Falcon and Winter Soldier, do you think the words, what are we, data mining, is that term going to come up, do you think?
No.
Encryption.
Yes.
It's encryption, all right.
Yes.
See, it's relative. It's very relevant right now. So stop handing over your personal data to big tech monopoly that mines your activity and sells your information. Protect yourself with the VPN that we trust to keep you safe online. Visit expressvpn.com/allies. That's express, expressvpn.com/allies to get 3 extra months free. Just allies, not easy allies this time. expressvpn.com/allies right now to learn more. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. There was some other stuff that happened in this Square Enix update. Square Enix Presents update. Yes, I will probably play this Life is Strange. I don't know. Do you think I can is it okay if I don't play 2? I know for Hubert, no, I've just like crushed your heart, but I mean like really.
This seems like it seems like you can totally jump in. Again,
yeah, you don't.
Steph is from Before the Storm. She goes to Blackwell. So you'll have maybe a little more backstory into her, obviously, but it seems very self-contained.
Yeah, I think the main thing, that you could jump into any of the series other than Before the Storm. I think Before the Storm, you really need to play the first game first.
Right.
You could jump in at any of those points, but like with Life is Strange 2, it's like characters that you did not expect, just like, oh, hello. And so I could see that happening here. They've revealed Steph is in there.
Well, maybe that's why there's no numbered blood.
I think there's more that could happen.
Yeah.
I think there's no number because they want people to be able to hop in. They want people to not feel intimidated, especially because this is in a lot of ways a fresh start. You're meeting a new character. You're starting in a new place. Like you don't have to know all of these other things, but they will help.
And I will be playing Forspoken. I'll definitely be checking that game that comes out. But I was almost knocked off my chair, finally getting a glance at Black Panther coming to Marvel's Avengers, baby.
Nice.
War for Wakanda.
Yeah.
Wasn't that leaked like
long time?
It totally was.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Avengers leaks out there. And
I thought I heard about this like November
and
or something.
at the base of Maestro's throne, who Hubert and I got to battle today, you can see Black Panther's helmet.
Cool.
And you would be a fool, I believe, in the year 2021 not to fit Black Panther into your video game if you ever possibly had the chance. But I did not think we were going to see him today. I did not think we were going to see Wakanda today. I didn't think we were going to hear a voice actor. Or when I saw like updates from Avengers, I was like, wow, Future Perfect launches that day. What are the
Well, even when they started the trailer, Jones, like it didn't feel like it was still in the Avengers segment. Like it felt like Avengers is done. They're gonna show us something else now, and like, okay, but Crystal Dynamics, and you see Jungle, and you see Ruins, and like, is this Tomb Raider? And then like, oh, nope, this is Wakanda. Got it.
It's a Tomb Raider engine, but not.
Yeah.
And the roadmap, they showed the roadmap.
They did. And before we dig in, you had your finger up, Hubert. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. I was going to ask you, Mr. Brandon Jones, who loves to grind for loot, what's your hype level on Outriders? Because that showed up today, another trailer. A trailer that was pretty long-winded, if I'm going to be critical. 9 minutes of
showcasing
it was like an 8 or 9 minute of information overload, Jones. I wanted your opinion on that trailer.
Why do you want me to do this to Outriders, Hubert? Why do you want Look, I'm here to be as balanced as I possibly can, to just talk about the news that happened this week. I don't want to just take... I'm not at all interested in those. No, it's not.
Because the buzz is kind of coming back, A lot of people that played the demo, the very generous demo that they released, a lot of people are like, yo, don't sleep on Outriders. Better than...
and the Game Pass
it's on Game Pass.
Right.
And that too,
So I'll actually try it now.
Nice.
Well, there you go. Let me know. Hey, Brad, if you dig it. I like hunting for that loot. Give me a call.
Definitely Gears of Borderlands kind of.
Yeah.
Borderlands. Where does the Borderlands come in?
Just
the loot.
Yeah, I think just the skill trees and that kind of thing. They really got into that about like making hard choices on how your character's gonna go.
Yeah, it's a lot of info. Cool. Sorry, Jones.
But those people who are interested in who are just like coming out of the end of catching up on all the Avengers stuff today, and we're like, wait, Black Panther, what? It's like, yes, not only that happened, but they do have their roadmap for the future. War of Wakanda is at the end, and supposedly it's all happening this year. So, and it's all free. So,
wait, what else is on the roadmap? Is it just Black Panther?
Basically. There's a bunch of things in between, but it's like not that much.
So there's like coming in the immediate. There's like a Tachyon Rift thing. I don't really know what it is. It scales power level 1 to 100. It seems like some kind of repeatable thing. There's custom harm rooms coming, like Black Widow themed. It's like the Red Room harm challenges. But then after that, it's like Summer and Beyond is the good stuff. It's like the Cosmic Cube event, which is continuing the story with Monica. She's involved in all that. And then what's in between that and Wakanda, Jones?
There's Wasteland Patrol.
The Wasteland Patrols, so like more missions in the zone that came out today. But
in summer and late summer?
Yeah. So that's the thing. Is like I had fun today, Jones. That was great. Love the new next gen version. Loved the story and the missions, but it's like 2 hours and done.
Right.
So now it's the waiting game again for more content.
I have a question. So there's only been 2 characters so far, and this came out in September.
Right.
Yeah, they were dealing with a lot of bugs, and they had it was a mess.
It sounds like they do a lot of stuff, I guess, if you play the game actively. But for someone like me who played it and I haven't touched it since like September, like you don't got a new superhero coming out. Like I don't care. Like Black Panther, great, that's good, but like.
There's just there's no content in the game.
I don't know.
That's been the story.
I think Black Panther's a much better pick. No offense to Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, but I didn't even know Kate Bishop existed. Right? I never even heard of her. Yeah. I know Hawkeye, but like he's not like the most high profile. And 2 bow people back to back.
Yeah, we were discussing in the when we were streaming it today, like if that was necessarily their intent. There's also the Hawkeye show coming out, and Kate Bishop is a part of that. So I wonder if they knew that was coming, and they were like, oh well, people will know who that is by the time, and then just
I think Black Panther got delayed because of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, probably would have been out in between.
Really delayed now.
Yeah,
to like late summer. Like, you gotta, like, I need to kill, like, they just gotta go nuts and pull the lever and put Wolverine in that game or something.
You know what, dude? Brad, I can't believe I didn't think about him, and I'm not actually, like, the biggest Wolverine fan, just because, like, the guy's popularity just gets, it's just so insane to me, and I'm like, he's kind of a dick, but anyway. I love...
It's Hugh Jackman, dude.
I was playing Avengers the other day and way before Hugh Jackman played him, and, he was had his own
propelled
comic,
it
and he
to
was selling issues for
monumental
sure.
heights, Jones.
But I was playing Avengers, and I just like light bulb. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only person who thought of this, but I was like, oh, that's not only needs to happen. That's the character. That's literally
that is the character
I think
to
the
put in.
only person in the MCU. I don't think anyone that Marvel owns could bring in the numbers that the
Wait, hold on. Did they talk about Spider-Man?
No, they kind of hinted that they might announce more things later in the year, but yeah, Spider-Man still.
No.
Still?
Yeah.
Somebody wrote an article about Spider-Man not being in and not coming anytime soon. So it's like,
Dude.
yeah.
I mean, that's
They're
just
like
gonna
touting that, and it's like gonna be a year later, maybe.
that's just
Yeah.
gonna be
If you're
bad
lucky.
mojo anyway. Which
Damn.
Square is good at, which Avengers is good at. They said recently that they increase the grind. Like, it's harder to level up now. And people are like, why are you doing this? What are you?
They really need some incentive to keep playing when you're max level. Give me a reason,
Right.
because the current way things are going, this is a game that I download when a new character and content comes out. I play it in one sitting and then delete the game and repeat that in 4 months.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can make money that way. I don't know if that's sustainable on their. I don't know if that's their intention. But they definitely need more content. But I will say, after today, it was really fun. Good step in the right direction.
As someone who doesn't play this game, it sounds like, and how they present it is the game with legs, and they want you to keep playing this game for a long time. But it seems like there's not enough reason to keep playing.
Oh, there's no reason.
It's very, bare bones, couple hours, you're done.
Yeah, there's no reason.
So, like, I don't really know what they expect people to do. What were their expectations with this? I don't understand.
Well, for the last few months, it's just been bugs and balancing.
Right. But it's like, you want this game to be a long living thing, but if there's not a ton to do, it's like you could PvP against other people, really, or anything like that. It's not like Destiny, where it just keeps going and going and going kind of thing.
Yeah, because the story content is great, but once that is finished, it's done. They need a loot grind. They need better loot.
Do you
They
pay for
need
characters?
Repeatable activities.
No, you don't pay for
free.
any of this
Everything's
stuff,
free.
yeah.
That's why there's no big drama. Everyone is like,
But you can
That's
pay
great.
for like skins or something,
You
right?
can
Like,
pay,
they make them
yeah.
up into somehow.
yeah. Everyone's
like-
like pitchforks against Avengers, and it's like, yo, dude, shit's free.
Yeah, it's free. That's cool. But
And
it's
next gen
just-
now, PS5 and
that's
Series
all
X
really
launched
great.
today.
But I don't
But
know. I don't know, like, the legs.
Yeah, Brad,
Just enough there.
I wonder how the game can truly live and thrive.
Yeah, how can you keep this thing going?
Like, I
I don't
really
think
wonder.
skins are enough for something like this.
What do you think, Jones? Do you think it's fine and Avengers will just keep doing this for the next couple years and they're good?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine having I don't think it's good. I think it's fine. I think it's like, okay, we can hold on to this. These announcements are fun. There is definitely a fan, but like, you see it, like, they have reactions from fans that are like, thanks to the fans. And you see people streaming that are just like, you look so good.
Yeah.
So like they definitely have a lot of people that are passionate about it. But like, for sure, they have written on the walls at Crystal Dynamics, just like, believe in the IP. Like,
Yeah.
they're
It doesn't
just
make money. That's what really matters.
there's
at the end of
no
the day.
way this game is anywhere close to as successful as
Like,
they thought
how
it
long will
would
Square
be.
keep supporting this thing? I just like,
Nah.
you got Black Panther, and if they have another big character and it doesn't do really anything for this game, like, it's dead. Like, it's already like
It
on life
feels
support,
kind of, yeah,
of.
it feels that way.
But like, man,
Will it last longer than Disney Infinity? That's gonna be the question. Will it make it to that
But at least-
critical fourth year?
with Disney
That's
Infinity,
gonna
they
be-
could sell those figures or something. Like, they probably made too many of them and lost tons of money.
Yeah.
But
At least
you're
they're
gonna
listening.
buy a fedora skin for Hulk? Like, no.
Yeah.
Well, Hubert, you're talking in the reactions about just like fighting the same enemies again. Did that prove true in the gameplay? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's a thing there too. That
That's a
like
problem.
you could capitalize on different villains coming in, even if you've got a lot of the same environments. You could mix it up with different enemy types and
Like,
different villains.
are
in
you
different
fighting
situations.
sick bosses in this game? Like, iconic supervillains and stuff?
Not really.
No, not
They're just
really.
big robots,
mean?
right?
You fight MODOK in the main campaign, and you
Right.
fight
Like, I remember that.
Yeah.
Abomination and Taskmaster, and now
like you have this-
Master.
5 if you
Master.
if you
Continuing
if you
growing
really
game.
push
Like,
the
do
lore.
they show up in online stuff? Like, how is there not like a bad guy pack or some bad guy event where some big bad guy comes in or something?
Slow burn, slow build.
You can't do slow burn
I
with
know.
this now.
They were thinking long term.
Light it
they were
on fire!
Yeah, they were
They
thinking.
need to light this on fire and like put some NOS in there and go.
They were thinking end game levels of like.
And they're doing
10 years
Outriders
out.
now too. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So the end of the story, Huber, is no, I'm not gonna play Outriders. But anyway,
Goodness.
are you gonna play Balan Wonderworld? That's the
Me?
question. Or
Brad is.
Yeah, I was gonna review it.
Are you still going to review it after? Did you see? Did you see in the update today? I have not.
coming in
The
Dicey
update
time,
today
but-
didn't really update anything.
Yeah,
It
they
just
were
sort of
like, we
it
heard
exists.
you guys are disappointed, but it's too late.
They didn't
That's
say
pretty much
that.
what it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's quite a bummer.
Did they really say that, Brad? Did they say anything to that
It's
effect?
like along those lines. Yeah, not like word for word.
But there's some kind of a hint that they
Yes.
they realized people weren't
Yes, they're
jazzed
not.
by the demo.
They are
Like,
not stoked.
Whoa.
Whoa.
No one is stoked.
Yo, Avengers, dude. Everyone's got problems.
Avengers is
making
sitting
games
pretty.
isn't easy.
Compared to Balan
Yeah.
right now.
Goodness.
What about Fortnite? Huber, Fortnite's had a good week.
Fortnite has had a freaking excellent week.
Croft Manor coming to Fortnite. I did not know this. I saw
Just
I
a community map, just a community creation.
cool.
I saw Laura in the cutscene, directed by the Russo brothers.
Correct.
Lara.
Yeah, Tomb Raider's getting a cookbook.
With a direct nod to Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Jones.
Cookbook for
What a
Tomb
twist.
Raider?
What a twist!
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
all those iconic Tomb Raider dishes that you
Yeah,
remember from
funny.
the series?
What does Lara Croft eat?
Some like
I guess we'll
boar,
find out.
Wild
Probably-
boar.
Yeah, it's great.
Boar meat.
probably
Didn't they
eats
show
well.
like a Weta statue too? They're like, here's the in progress of the Weta statue. Is that for Tomb Raider or is that for something else? I think it was Tomb Raider.
What? I don't know.
Yeah,
Was
and
that
then
in
they're
the
doing
Square
like a
Enix
bundle
Presents
of
the cookbook?
the trilogy. But yeah,
Is it like definitive edition for all of them?
something like
Because
that.
they did that for the first two. I wonder if they did it for the third one now.
Yeah, but it just feels like they're just repackaging.
I've seen it
something that's already
repackaged on the
prepackaged. Yeah.
PlayStation Store like 4 times in my life
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
many
yeah.
times.
So Huber, are you not psyched for Hitman Sniper Assassins?
Mobile, nah.
Nah. Did they had some other mobile thing? They had a sniper thing.
They had Hitman Go.
Bonus.
it's
They had
solid.
Hitman Go, but they had a bonus
Sniper
DLC
Assassin.
Sniper Assassins. But I thought they also played some Hitman mobile game that was sniper-y.
I think that there
It's
was.
like leveling up and
maybe.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
I never played that, Jones.
That was Sniper Scope at the arcade.
Silent
I played
Scope.
that too.
Oh, Silent Scope. That is, yeah.
Love
There you
it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just
dude.
Hitman Sniper.
Just Hitman Sniper, yeah. Hitman Sniper
Nice.
Assassins.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same team, but not a lot of info. They just
I'm
teased
pretty
that.
sure it is.
Cool. Yeah, I never played that one.
Yeah.
Just
They
the one on with 2016 Sniper Assassin.
See, because here's the thing. It's like the pinch for the zoom works, the tap for, just moving it around with your finger, and then,
Sure.
right where the reticle's where it needs to be, you tap and you get a good... It had enough, obviously the character models weren't that great, but it had enough physicality that was fun, shooting a guy and having him land on a thing. There were lots of fun, weird challenges and stuff. And it was believed, when I first played, it was just one map, and so there were just like lots of... you really got used to like who goes where and when, and then, so you'd know like if you could take somebody out by themselves.
This came out in 2015. It's been a little while.
Hitman Sniper, yeah, I remember getting that on like an iPad. I remember playing that on iPad in an event called E3.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a while ago. So Hitman Sniper Assassins, I could see myself kind of being curious and trying that out. Just Cause Mobile, there's no way. Just Cause on mobile?
This was Jones bait, dude. I saw this and I
No
was like,
gameplay though. It's like what in the world? Like a third-person action is like the last
CG
thing I wanna
trailer,
do.
dude,
The last
adding
thing
to
I
the
wanna
Jones
do.
bait.
Yeah, it was like a 4-player co-op kind of thing.
Look, I believe and enjoy in CG trailers, Huber. I don't trust him, not for a second. I never trust him. I only trust gameplay as far as I can throw it.
They didn't show gameplay? Whoa.
No, it's just some weird. He's such
Yeah,
a,
it's just a quick mobile. It's mobile. They're almost never going to show it. I'm going to see if they...
it's
Unless
like
it's
this
probably
whole
67
presentation
stuff.
was it like, oh, is it that popular? It was just like, we're remaxing Life is Strange. Like, oh, is it that popular? Cool. It's like, we're
Wait,
making a
is this
Just
what the
Cause
game
mobile
looks
game.
like?
Like, oh.
Wait, I'm looking at like an isometric camera here with a bunch of tiny people.
I thought there was no game. All right, okay. Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm on the website. There's some screenshots here.
Just Cause Mobile coming soon. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Good or bad? Good or bad?
In
good
the
or bad?
gallery,
No,
it's
it's just
like
top down. Yeah.
Oh no.
yeah, it's totally top down.
It's just top down. Multiplayer though, potentially. I don't
Yeah.
know. You can
Yeah,
multiplayer.
it's
oh
like a
yeah, there's
4-player
gameplay.
game.
What am I talking? Yeah, it wasn't gameplay in the trailer. Okay.
There's a gear screen. There's
Man,
a lot of
if Jones
gear.
isn't excited. That hurts. A huge Just Cause fan and an avid mobile player.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah.
You think I'd be the guy. And a lot of other craziness. Darius Cosmic Revelation, an HD remaster of the first Darius. It's coming to PS4 and Switch. Bubble Bobble for Friends.
Bubble
It's coming to Steam.
Bobble.
Yeah, that's been
Yeah.
out on Switch for a while.
Yeah.
Toho Spell Bubble is getting a second story pack on Switch. Toho?
Toho, yeah.
Toho.
Toho.
Toho? It's getting a second story pack on Switch. Space Invaders AR. Pokemon
Yeah, that
Go,
was one where we really don't know what the heck it is.
Crazy.
but
I
Space
want to
Invaders.
see. I want to look up into the sky and see an alien spaceship coming down.
Okay.
Is that what it is? That's where my mind went.
That's how you'll know the difference between people playing Space Invaders AR and
Yeah.
people playing Pokemon Go. Just straight up. AR, but in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, strange. It's like you were saying, Brad. It's like, wow, Jones, you're like the biggest mobile and Just Cause fan I know, and you're not down. It would seem that like all you got to do is take AR and a popular
death.
property and put these two together. I saw Space Invaders AR and I was like, what? And then I saw the trailer and they were like obviously really focusing on your classic Space Invaders, icon, the alien icon, and like, oh, okay, that's iconic. But people still got to get out of their house and go somewhere and
Right.
download this app and whip it out. I don't know. Hard to tell what it'll be like. Again, we didn't see like a ton of gameplay and stuff. Maybe that's playing in a flash animation on their website. I'm not sure.
Jones, you're green on my screen.
Yeah, he was on mine too.
Cool.
It's fine
Well,
on
you're
my
not.
side.
I'm not green on mine. I'm looking
Okay.
fantastic. On my screen.
That's all that matters.
Zoom weirdness.
Cool.
It does do that. It hasn't done that during the podcast yet. Actually, I'm sure listeners at home are fascinated about it. How did Square Enix do for the Square Enix Presents? How did that? We had a direct recently. We had a state of play recently. How did you?
Jones, I loved that it was pretty concise, and they set expectations accordingly.
You're right. They did.
They really set this up like it was Life is Strange's show, and then everything else was there for support. So it's like, this is the kind of the Life is Strange event. It's Square Enix Presents, but like Life is Strange took the spotlight. So it was like, okay, I'm going in expecting to see Life is Strange. That's it. That's all I'm expecting. That's what I got. My expectations were met, and then they hit you with the surprise at the end with Forspoken to kind of set it over the edge. So I thought it was just solid all around.
Can we get Michael Huber to play Darius? That's what they were thinking.
I
Square
love
Enix,
Darius
they were-
on Game Boy. I think I played it on Game Boy.
Oh yeah.
Is it on Game Boy? I played that. It's either that or Gradius or one of those.
Nice.
There's a
the-
ton of Darius games. It's hard to say.
Yeah. If there's one on Game Boy, I played it.
So Sony had a crazy week. They bought Evo today, the day we were recording this. They teased that they were going to be releasing new information, although I'm actually frankly surprised we're getting it this early in the lifespan of the PlayStation 5. But we have now seen the PlayStation 5 controllers for VR. And they're cool. They're way different than the old PSVR. Did you say in Slack that Half-Life Alyx has to be coming to this thing, Blood?
Yeah,
Some confidence?
these are Half-Life Alyx compatible controllers right here.
So yeah, some fun investments going on over at Sony, including Haven Entertainment Studios, which is based in Montreal. It was announced in the PlayStation blog, and this is being headed up by Jade Raymond.
Yeah.
Jade Raymond is a developer that I still hold in very high esteem, but someone who seems to be kind of running from one fire after the other. Seems to
hasn't
just be like,
shipped anything
I'm
in
going
a
to
while,
do
it
this
seems
now. And then is like, wait, that didn't work out. She started working on Sims Online for EA. Then she, of course, introduced us to Assassin's Creed. She was the one that came out on stage and talked a lot about that. I always say crowds. For some reason, whenever somebody says, I think Jade Raymond, I just think crowds. Then she was at Ubisoft heading there or working at their Toronto studio when they made Splinter Cell Blacklist, which I know you have a soft spot for, Bloodworth, correct? Like you
Yeah.
check that
Yeah,
out.
that's a good
I did
game.
not touch Splinter Cell Blacklist. But It was a good game, but there has not been a lot of.
I didn't know that Jade had anything to do with it.
Has not
but-
been a. She was at the studio, but it has not. There's not been a lot of Splinter Cell games since, and so she left there to work for EA, then again, and then left EA to work for Google Stadia 2 years ago, and then they just shut down their internal studio. And what's funny to me, obviously she's probably had a hell of a year, but it's amusing to me because when she was leaving the Stadia studio, she said, and I thought this was fascinating at the time, that she's had to make the difficult decision to leave, that she was not, it didn't sound like she was fired. It sounded like there was reorganization happening there, and then she maybe possibly could have had other opportunities within Google and was like, no, please, get me out. This is not what I thought this was going to be. Get me out of here. But she was like, this was tough. This was a difficult decision. And then she releases this blog on PlayStation. She's like, I got a new studio. Woo! And you're like, okay. Again, sorry to all my friends and colleagues who lost their jobs, but yes.
if she took as many of them with her as she
Working
could.
on a brand new IP. Doesn't have a lot more to say other than that, but had a really interesting blog post that I have condensed down, that I wanted to wrap up our headlines today by reading. But I was just curious, your expectations of a Jade Raymond. Is this somebody who has done enough for you to kind of get a sense of what she is capable of in terms of her ideas around game design or managing a studio, or is it just someone who...
I just remember her from Assassin's Creed. And that's about it.
Yeah, and that was so long ago. Like you were saying, Jones, it just feels like she's going from one fire to the next. So it's like, big name, big producer, obviously very talented. She never has really, every time something goes down, she lands on her feet. So clearly, people want her to make more things.
Right.
It's just been so long that I'm neither hyped nor
Sure, and we're not going to hear anything for long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean...
Interesting to say it's a new IP, though. It's kind of fun to throw that out there.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is like she's just been thrust into these impossible situations where like, she was at EA Motive, right? Trying to work on that Star Wars game that was originally...
The Amy Hennig one?
The pieces of Amy Hennig's game, and trying to turn it into something else, and just like that's not great.
Bad situations.
Yeah, and then same thing with Google. Who knows what she had to deal with Google and trying to put teams together there, and they kind of made it sound like she was the head of those studios, and so I just can't imagine like having to try to develop a game with limited resources and not enough people, and then being told that like, hey, guess what? We're just not going to do this.
Yep. Sounds like game development.
But now my feeling on this is she's got the Kojima deal now.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
yeah.
she's got
That's
her
a
own
really
studio.
good parallel. Yeah.
The Kojima deal.
Yeah. Free reign.
She's got her own studio.
Yeah.
She can do what the heck she wants. But she's got the Sony backing, the Sony kind of safety net for this game to come out, and I bet that probably similarly, like Sony will have first dibs on it and some integration.
Yeah.
But then it'll come out to PC and some other stuff later.
And this is not a PlayStation studio. This is a independent studio, but it was announced on the PlayStation blog, and she thanked Sony and PlayStation for
Kojima treatment
for helping. Right? Yeah. I can't wait for the staircase to roll out at a Sony press conference, and then here comes Jade coming down there. But it's again, it's people lost their jobs. I'm not pleased about what happened within Google. I wanted things to work out better for Google's own internal development, but it is mildly hilarious going back 2 years and having them all be like, this is going to be awesome. Just like, wait, man, we're so pumped. And so it's weird going back, reading all those articles and then going ahead now. And it's just like, here we go again, starting a new studio. But her blog had a bit of a different air about it. And it makes me wonder if other people are in this mindset, other people that are potentially had games wrapped up in 2020 that are wondering. It's like when we talked to Cory Barr, like right after God of War was done, and he's just like, we're going on vacation. Just this idea of
right.
And here she just got out of what could have been, potentially a very stressful work environment at Google. It's been a strange and difficult past 12 months. The pandemic, social injustice, and job elimination have impacted many of my closest friends, family, and coworkers. All of these factors, paired with an inability to see friends and family face to face, lulled me into a kind of self-reflective cocoon where I had to ask myself some tough questions about what really matters. I've been making games for a long time, over 25 years now. I've had the opportunity to lead the creation of 2 highly successful original IPs and build multiple teams and studios from the ground up. Some of these adventures have been more successful than I could have ever imagined, others less so. Several people have asked me recently, after all these experiences, do you still want to be in the games industry? The answer is always an unwavering yes. As I took stock in my career over the last few years and started to think about what to do next, I came to a very simple conclusion. I need to get back to what I love doing most and do so in a way that gives our team the freedom to explore, inspire, and create. And so today I'm announcing Haven, an independent studio where many of the talented game developers I've worked with for years and love dearly are coming together to do what we are most passionate about. It's time for us to refocus on games, all caps, games, in a place where we can practice our crafts without any barriers or impediments.
Google impediments.
It's just weird. Like, I thought you were
Yeah,
focusing
shots
on
fired,
games
didn't
for
even think about
years.
that.
Shots fired to Google, dude.
Other people's
Yeah,
games, though.
big
That's
money.
the thing. This is the first time this is her own studio.
Yeah.
You know, and so you can imagine working for someone. You like the person you work for. You don't like the company that they work for. And then
Yeah.
years later, you find out like, oh, they're doing a thing. All right. So,
Well, good for her. Hope
Good
it's
luck, dude.
one of those,
yeah.
one of those projects I'm going to forget about, and then just like Forspoken.
Probably like
Blood's gonna ask in
next-
like a year. We're gonna be like ready to react to something, and like, well, we still don't know what Haven's doing. I'm gonna be like, who? What? What are you talking about?
2022 title
Jade-
reveal?
No, 2023 maybe.
But what's interesting to me too, though, is that PlayStation connection, because the other Google studio, was being headed up by Shannon Studstill, who used to be at Sony Santa Monica.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
like-
correct. Yeah.
So they had those, connections there. I don't know what Shannon's going to be doing, but yeah, be interesting to see what happens.
And fun because new IP, in my mind, doesn't necessarily mean like third-person action. This could be anything. So, gotta be fun days for the next couple months at that studio, putting all those ideas together. Also this week, Deathstroke has a Halo symbol on his sword by accident in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Did you hear about this, Huber?
Yeah,
This
funny.
is so
funny.
good. This is
So
so
funny.
good.
By
What a-
accident?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
looked up. They thought they were finding the Ra's al Ghul symbol, and we're like, "Whoop, no. Oh, that's it." And then yoink. Like Halo fans were like, "Wait
Yeah,
a minute, no, that's
yeah.
Halo."
What?
Yeah.
I hope
That's
Long
Halo,
Duration
bro.
Wars has Halo symbols now.
It has katakana tattoo vibes, of you just being like, "That says summertime, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure, that's what that says." Like, that says "I love you," right?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it was on display at somewhere you could go see the costumes up close, and so somebody took a picture of it, and they were like, "Yeah, Ra's al Ghul," and it's like, no, it's Halo. A modder that fixed GTA Online load times on PC got paid $10,000 by Rockstar. He was like,
Was he-
"I fixed your load times,"
So
and Rockstar's like, "You did. We'll implement it, and here's $10,000."
10,000 is a lot, but to them it's nothing. I
Of
want to
course.
know if they offered this person a job.
Doesn't sound like
That's
they
a
did.
better. That's a better
Does
prize.
not sound like it, yeah.
Maybe.
I don't-
That'd be
I don't know.
great,
I didn't,
but
I didn't
yeah,
look that
who
deep
knows?
into it.
Yeah, you'll have to move though. A new Dying Light 2 video points at a 2021 release date. Fingers crossed. Not the happiest
Oh.
Dying Light 2 video. It's a little.
Oh.
I missed this. I think I saw like the tease that they were going to say something, and then I missed the thing that they actually said.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you see this at like E3 like
I-
2 years ago,
Yeah,
Brandon?
yeah.
or
I thought
something?
this game was going to get like a hard
And then a year
reboot.
and then a year prior to that, it was like the same room. It was like a
Damn.
dark theater I went into, and was like, "Hey, this looks great." And then saw it the next year.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
I
cool.
saw that.
I liked
I
the first
saw that.
Dying Light. It was fun. The
They
water
go up
looked
that
weird.
tower?
But other than that,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, dude, you were saying video games are tough. That video is video games are tough. Like that is
Yeah.
that sums it up. You can see it in their eyes. THQ Nordic appointed Alchemia Interactive to handle the remake of Gothic, which I had not played, but reading up
Huber,
on that
have you
game.
played
that sounds
Gothic?
curious.
Touched it, never finished it.
Okay. I felt like somebody had, but I didn't know who.
Yeah. Cool.
We talked about the Russo brothers season 6 cutscene that they directed. Lara Croft's coming to the game. Raven is also coming to the game, a very specific type of Raven. If you're familiar
Fortnite
with
we're
the
talking
character,
about, yeah.
Fortnite, correct? Sorry. And Neymar Jr., who is a soccer player. Yes, is also coming. It's their first. They had NFL jerseys, but this is the first sports player being added to the game.
Fortnite is insane.
Did you watch the
crossovers?
Did you watch the trailer, Jones? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
That was fun. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I did not follow season 5 leading up to the conclusion, and it does crack me up that they're bringing in the Russo brothers to bring the gravitas to a Fortnite cutscene. It's like, this thing in the middle of the map is about to explode. And it's like, that's Fortnite. What? We got to get this blue thing to the purple thing, and it's like, this is every expand. They're all great, like I love it.
Yeah.
It's like there's
always something exploding.
It's a big thing. It gets bigger as the season goes, and then it blows up, and then it erases everything, and other stuff happens.
So, but they said, I heard people said they killed Peely.
Yeah,
They
it
blew up
looked
the
like a
banana guy.
fatality. It looked like a fatality. It was.
But they're coming
Hadouken.
out with a Joy-Con that has Peely on it? Like, I don't understand.
Nothing
He's not
dies
gonna
in
stay
Fortnite.
dead.
Nothing dies in Fortnite.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Fun though,
That doesn't
humor
make
with.
sense.
I saw GameSpot's footage of the single player thing, and it's fun that like they're throwing gameplay elements at you like live, So
Yeah.
like, there's that one moment where you're running through, you're like, wolves, what the hell? Oh my god!
Yeah.
So like, that's a fun expansion announcement. As like
Totally.
you're actually playing it. Like, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That Fortnite doing some fun things. You got to keep an eye out for that game. D&D Dark Alliance, which we knew about, and had some recent fun announcements. Bad news though, won't have local co-op at launch, which they freely admitted. They're like, yeah, we just haven't done it yet. They're like, all that cinematic jazz that you see that we're bringing to this game, that was like our main focus.
Champions of Norath hype, dude. Shout out. I played that local co-op so much.
You don't want to, yeah. If you're like, oh, Dark Alliance, I remember that. Get all of that out of your head because it's a whole new team, whole new game.
Yeah.
We need more Warhammer 40k games. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Necromunda Hired Gun, a Warhammer 40k FPS. Necromunda.
Cool.
Leaked on the Microsoft Store, so we have not an official announcement from that yet. But EA Play is coming to Xbox Game Pass on PC. Xbox Game Pass announced like 500 things this week. I'm sorry, we're not doing a whole other thing on Xbox Game Pass, but man,
Octopath Traveler, all kinds of stuff.
there's a lot of
I
stuff
didn't know
coming.
that. That's cool.
Outriders, as we talked about, Undertale coming to Game Pass, and Dishonored, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and Prey got an FPS boost on Xbox Series X and S. So
Boost.
Apparently it's really big
Boosted.
for Dishonored and Prey.
Yeah, don't sleep on Dishonored, by
Yep.
the way. Play it.
Don't sleep on it.
And it's like the definitive edition, or what do they call it? Dishonored
Yeah, it's
Collection.
like-
It's like the big,
yeah. DLC.
But Sony making moves as well. Here's 10 free games for anybody that owns a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, including Horizon Zero Dawn. And there was something else on that list. That I
Ratchet
was
and
like,
Clank.
oh, I'm going to play it.
Ratchet.
Astro is in there too. There's a few VR games actually.
Yeah, and there's like The Witness or something in there too,
Yeah,
I think.
that's one of them.
Fun batch.
Cool.
Cool. It is now time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
For Morgan Mohala, hello panel. I looked up some figures. I made a quick game for you. You simply must choose the larger number. One will be game related, the other will be outside of gaming. Also, please feel free to look these up yourselves, as I found some of them hard to believe as well. A nice pitch when we start the game. Love, respect, Morgan Mohala. All right, which number is higher? The number of different types of fish you can catch in Animal Crossing New Horizons, or the Aquarium of the Pacific's number of different fish species?
Oh, the
The
Aquarium of the
aquarium.
Pacific.
Yeah.
Correct. Animal Crossing only has 80, but the Aquarium of the Pacific has over 500. The number of Easy Allies patrons, or the maximum number of hours a snail can sleep?
The maximum number of hours a snail can sleep?
You heard me.
Patrons.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah,
as
I've never
a
heard
thing.
that. I guess I'll go Patriots.
I don't know what this could
What
even
a
mean.
bizarre
Okay,
thing.
I'll go with patrons.
You wish. Wouldn't it be nice if we had 26,280 patrons? Can you imagine
Wow.
how much our lives would change?
Wow.
Yeah, we only have 19,000.
Patreon.com. Patreon.com/easy. If all those people just gave us $1, man, I'd be so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have shooting to get back above 8. We have almost 8 thou, but 26,000 hours or 3 years. A snail can
3 years
snooze,
now.
apparently. Yeah,
That's
Didn't know they
crazy.
So
lived
that means
long.
a snail would live like 20 years or so?
Yeah, a snail can go to bed now and wake up when that Jade Raymond game comes out.
Wait, it could sleep that long continuously?
Maximum numbers
That's what
hours
it
a snail
said,
can
yeah.
sleep.
I thought that
Does
meant
not
like
say
over its
continuously.
lifetime. Yeah.
I thought it was in one go.
I don't know. It's
Me
not that
too.
interesting if it's over the lifetime. That's not a headline.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
The number of arts-based Olympic medals that were awarded for the World Olympics, or the number of minutes for the current Doom Eternal speedrun time. Minutes. So arts-based medals versus Doom Eternal minutes. And it's record speedrun.
I mean, people can beat that game in like 5 minutes, dude. It's the other one.
151 arts-based medals have been released, and the fastest Doom Eternal speedrun is 68 minutes and 52 seconds currently. So yeah.
Wow.
68 minutes? Wow, I thought it'd be shorter than that, actually.
He says the current Doom Eternal speedrun time. I'm assuming it means the fastest, but who knows?
Yeah.
The number of musical instruments that Richard Nixon could play, or the number of starting aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020?
Flight Simulator.
Blood has played Flight Simulator. He's not.
I'll go with Nixon, even though I have no insight to this whatsoever.
Richard Nixon apparently played the piano, sax, accordion, violin, and clarinet. But you get 20. Whoa. You get 20 planes in Flight Simulator. So Flight Simulator wins that one.
There's released some jetliner that's like $50.
The number of different types of infected in The Last of Us Part 2, or the number of different words for snow that Scottish has.
Oh,
the Scottish language.
Scottish wins this.
Can you take a guess how many different words for snow?
Yeah, I'll go with
only
Scottish.
like
There's seven. There's nailed it. Boom.
Yeah.
Seven. Have you been to a webpage where you just like read about them? Did you like scroll down?
Of course he has.
I mean, I take deep dives into like zombies and freakos all the time, so probably
of just from any franchise. Just give me some.
Yeah.
I went back to zombie freakos.
Like, give me the scientific lore of what exactly is going on here.
What do you think, Blood? How many? If you want to say snow in Scotland, how many different ways can you do it?
Oh, I'll say 17.
Sure.
421.
How is that possible? How is that possible?
I don't know.
I'm curious now. I need to know.
There's got to be like compound, like this plus that equals this kind of words.
What in the world?
Apparently Germany made up all kinds of crazy new words over the pandemic.
Germany's got some great words in that language. They really do. Abraham Lincoln's ranked career in wrestling, wins minus losses, or Cyberpunk 2077's current Metacritic score?
Which is
higher?
Which is higher?
I mean, that's got to be like a 70-something on Meta.
Lincoln's wrestling record. How many wins?
Did Lincoln win more than like 60 or 70 matches?
How much would he wrestle, huh?
I'm going Cyberpunk.
I'm going Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is surprisingly high score.
Do you know
I should have gone with Lincoln, damn it.
I'll go with Lincoln.
I should have.
Yeah, it is higher than I
90s
expected.
or 80s, right?
85, yeah.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, fortunately, though, won 299 wrestling matches in his career.
Lincoln.
Always bet on Lincoln.
He's got that reach.
Finally, the number of letters in the longest word in the English language, or the number of minutes to beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla according to HLTB completionist playstyle.
Valhalla's the longest the game ever made. I'm saying that.
Valhalla.
I'll just do the other one.
The other one was the good. It was the good play. The longest word is what? Oh, the longest word is 189,819 letters long. It's a protein nicknamed Titan or Titan. Titin.
No.
Shut that one down. Shut it down. These are our wacky patrons, y'all. But in case you were wondering, the number of minutes to beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla is 7,740, or 129 hours, in the completionist playstyle. Cheese.
They just dated that DLC.
You. No, thank you.
End of April. More content.
Going to Ireland.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Whoa, crazy.
I told you I wouldn't play any of that stuff, but I might.
Hey, they make really good story DLCs. They're very good.
I wish you would talk about them every now and then. You didn't say a peep over the last Assassin's Creed DLC. From Sponge J1, greetings allies, and shout out to Sponge J1 who posted this on our Patreon for love and respect for the Easy Allies podcast, maybe for about half a year. This just every single week, every time. I was just was pushing it, and I I felt like this week was the week. Let's do it. With more and more people from film becoming involved in high-profile game development, it got me thinking about some dream video game and Hollywood collaborations. Below, I've listed some dream teams, and I want you, the panel, to decide which of these two you think deserve to be willed into existence, be it by Huber or other methods. Love and respect, and sorry, Enforcer, Sponge J1. So this
at least
is
Huber's here, because this is his wheelhouse.
This is a fun one.
So this is a director working with a developer. Who would you like to see happen? Would you like to see Christopher Nolan of Tenet and Inception fame working with Remedy? Or Derek Kolstad and Chad Stahelski of John Wick working with IO Interactive? Forget everything they're working on. Obviously, IO's got a big IP to deal with right now, but...
I think Nolan's world building complements and scale. Nolan's scale complements Remedy more than the like crazy frenetic John Wick pace complements Hitman.
That's a good point. Stahelski, I think, is his last name. Sorry, I butchered that one. I don't want to.
So I'm gonna go Nolan and Remedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just so I can play their
insane,
next
whatever the hell they
game.
made.
Yeah, just so I can play it in the IMAX as well.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about quality.
That's gotta be part of it.
Be an insane video game. I hope it's survival horror.
Dude,
Make
only
one.
exclusive to IMAX.
What?
You can only play it in the IMAX.
Boy. Edgar Wright of Shaun and the Dead Baby Driver fame, working on a bully game. Or Taika Waititi, What We Do in the Shadows, Thor Ragnarok, working on a Borderlands game.
No.
No. That's okay.
Yeah.
They're already making a Borderlands movie.
Yeah.
Borderlands game,
him making
though.
a game.
Taika Waititi.
Oh, right.
coming in and writing-
No. It's okay.
All right.
We'll do the
Edgar
first
Wright. Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright. That is
That's
great.
the right
Yeah,
answer.
that is a really good pick.
I mean, it's the funny thing is like, do you want more bully or more Borderlands? Like, what is this panel gonna say?
Nah, Borderlands is just going to happen.
I don't care about
It's
either,
like-
but I'd rather have Bully.
I wanted a bully sequel for so long. I see it in a sentence, and there's that part of me that's like, you just read the word bully in caps. It's like, no. Sam Raimi, Evil Dead, Darkman, working with Shinji Mikami, or Jordan Peele, Get Out, and Us, working on Silent Hill.
You said Shinji Mikami, though.
Yeah, I know. He's only one part of the panel, though. He's just one man.
Yeah.
That is really fun, that collaboration.
Dude, let Mikami make like an Evil Dead game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets my
Or
vote.
Spider-Man game.
Yeah. Jordan
I think
though,
Peele would be
dude,
good.
He would.
And I'm
Like
really
his
thinking
take
that
on
Peele
Silent
might
Hill.
be the better option.
Honestly, I think his creative juices are he's operating at like his highest level, you know? I really think if you gave him that right now, good Silent Hill game.
Wow, shutting Shinji Mikami down. You hate to see it.
I'm going with Mikami. I'm a true fan. Sorry,
Sorry.
Huber.
Sorry,
I also
Mikami-san.
was not an Us fan. I thought Us was okay. But a Darkman game. Hitman vibes. Pretending to be other
Darkman
people.
hype.
Darkman game. The Muppets working with Double Fine or Pixar working with Insomniac? The Muppets did work with Double Fine, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
The Muppets.
Pixar
and-
working with Insomniac could be fun, though. The Muppets and Double Fine or Pixar and Insomniac?
I do Pixar and Insomniac, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
It's funny because how many Ratchet games have been like, this looks like a
I
Pixar
know.
game.
I know.
Make an
Totally.
Incredibles game.
Oh,
That would be cool.
Brad.
Yeah, man. And it's just exactly the same as Avengers.
Dude,
Its
co-op.
structure.
Yep.
It's just the same.
Holy shit.
Alfonso Cuarón of Gravity and Children of Men working with Naughty Dog?
Yep, that done. Next.
I'm sure that'll be a real depressing game.
Next.
What's the other one?
Or Denis Villeneuve, a rival Blade Runner 2049 working with Kojima?
I love. He is the best working director in the business right now, but I gotta go Kieran Naughty Dog. That is a collaboration. Dude, I can't even imagine that. Like the music too.
Yeah.
Just everything, top to bottom. Love that. Love it.
Shane Black, the Nice Guys Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, working on a Driver game, or Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, working with Monolith Soft. It's another thing too. Those guys just created Avatar Studios with Nickelodeon. So
I'll say that for
Konietzko.
Damian.
I'll say Konietzko. Shane Black directed a Predator movie and was in a Predator movie. Shout out to Shane Black.
Predators, or not Predators. The Predator, newest one. No.
that takes a lot.
Yeah. I really like Predators. But
What
the
was the
newest
first
one.
Studio?
Shane Black working on a Driver game. I mean, there's no one's lining up to make a
Right.
Driver game.
Yeah.
Probably have to be the Avatar guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Avatar could be good.
Just them on a video game in general. Just an Avatar video game. Let's just scrap this entire game we're playing right now.
They made one.
Complete.
It was
I
bad.
know. Well, they made a core.
They made a couple.
They made a Game Boy Advance, or they made some like handheld lousy Avatar game. But they made a core game that was okay.
Yeah.
But I've just started rewatching it like a couple weeks ago, and it's so hard when like a firebender takes on an earthbender. You're just like,
Give it
why
the
is
budget.
this? Why is this not a game? Right. Finally, Tommy Wiseau. Yes, that Tommy Wiseau from The Room, working with Sweary, or Zack, or Zack
pretty-
Snyder,
It's pretty genius.
working with People Can Fly.
The other one for the novelty was so.
Yeah. Why,
That is-
why
that
That would be
swearing?
insane.
That's a great novelty.
Gosh.
Like it,
Can
probably
you-
it might be a terrible game, but
Right.
Just getting
be
them in the
something.
same room together, Brad. Like those trailers, I can't even
It
imagine.
will be a terrible game. That's the funny part
I was
about
gonna
it.
say like I don't know, I think it'd just be awkward, Heber. I don't think it'd be fun. It'd just be uncomfortable.
Can you imagine playing Wiseau in a game? Can you imagine like having his like voiceover as you go, like looking at a look at that? That's crazy. Anyway,
That'd be so
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
he's the main character in the game, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
having him be in the booth, like reading dialogue and stuff, could be. Thank you, Sponge Day. Thank you for persistence
one.
with that game. That was good.
Fun.
Yeah. Had Huber on this time. That would be good.
Dude, cure on.
From Andreas Klinthaus, It Takes Two is described as a romantic comedy, which is a genre we don't really see in video games. So what genre that we haven't gotten yet in a video game would you like to see? Or what genre do you think we need more of? Let's talk genres. We do get some romantic
That we
games.
haven't gotten.
Some games are like
That's pretty
quote-unquote
rough.
romantic, but they're not for kids.
I mean,
I mean, I'm always
Well,
down
there's
for
some.
high school dramas, so Life is Strange and Wintermore Tactics Club have been kind lately, but I could always use more. Slice of life.
Silent film. In video games.
I honestly think that people have done it.
Oh, everything's been done, Bloodworth.
Yeah, shit.
It's so hard.
It's like The Simpsons, man.
I mean, one of my favorite genres is like classic mafia, Prohibition era, and really, there's surprisingly,
Sure.
there's not that many in that
It was
time
weird.
period.
We got
surprisingly
like three mafia,
three in a row.
like,
Yeah, Empire of
tactics games.
Sin. Yeah,
Like, there's
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, did Empire Sin just come out?
Yeah.
There's like others.
Kinda
There's
yeah.
at least one other,
Yeah.
maybe two.
Yeah, there was another one that came out right after it or soon or something like that.
I just assume it would be more prolific, like westerns as well. Like I would just think,
Sure.
there'd be more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Me, I'm a fan of third-person open-world action. I'm just kind of, I got my Google Earth set to that. So it's just anybody else wants to.
Sure.
There are a lot of those. That was a joke.
It's just, especially as I'm getting older, I care more about character drama, bonds, just more people doing mundane things, but just living life and talking about it, like life experiences. And I feel like most games like that are Life is Strange style, like Telltale vibes. Just not a lot of like big third-person open world games, Jones, where you're not like killing things.
Sure.
Like a huge open world, but like no action.
You're not
like that one-
strangling bears.
Yeah, that one game where you were like the delivery person. Remember they kept announcing that?
Death Stranding?
No. Nice. Yeah, I'm done. Nice. We're moving on.
Maybe it's Hubert. Maybe I've just been playing Hitman so much, and I wanted to play the Destroy All Humans remaster. I just didn't make time for it. But like, I'd love a good alien subterfuge game, some X-Files-y thing where you're an alien on the run pretending to be other people, or it'd be fun. Like They Live, you got to put the glasses on and then you see everybody. Like, that'd be cool.
You know what? Like, actually, I think the thing we might not have too many examples of is just like a sitcom.
Sure.
Ooh.
Like I think that there are a couple out there, like, but I think the one I'm thinking of is it is sort of like based on game development, but there's not a whole lot.
The Seinfeld game finally happens.
Hey, there's a Seinfeld level in Dreams that is fantastic. You get to tour the apartment and it goes places. That game. From JG, when I played through The Last of Us Part 2 last year, I was blown away by the guitars in that game. The animations of Joel playing and the reflections of the guitars in the music store were so realistic. There were also certain parts of the story that resonated with me a lot because I'm a guitarist. Did you ever come across anything in a game that stood out to you more than others because of your knowledge about the subject? I know we've talked about this in the past because you bring up racing humor, and it's just always good to get a refresher on that one.
Wrestling and baseball when I play Yakuza. That pops up, and I'm like very familiar with both of those things. So anytime it pops up, I'm like, yo, here we go. I'm in.
What are we experts at, if anything? This might be the longest silence.
It's my point blank.
It's taking
Achilles
over
heel,
moderation
always.
of this podcast.
I don't know. I guess I think about when GTA 5 came out. You see a lot of these spots that are like from LA, and you're like, I can kind of appreciate that more because I've seen that in real life.
I also wonder, I'm just so obsessed with SSX. I love it, and I just always want that franchise to come back. And I wonder if, growing up in California and hitting the mountains a lot, I wonder if that led to, obviously not only my, enjoyment of winter sports, but that feeling when you see that, massive environment flying at you. It's like once you've sped down a mountain and you know what that feels like, and you get into SSX, can you imagine how dead you would be if you tried to do 50 yards of any one of those courses, how just completely impossible it would be.
Yeah, I think about Tony Hawk, and I skateboard for years, and it's like that shit is insane.
Nothing specific, but I watch a lot of movies, and I carry movies and games kind of into each other, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Just when I play games, to remind me of certain movies or certain styles, or just nothing specific, but just that.
I was feeling nostalgic the other day, Hubert. I went back and watched your Quantum Break review, our Quantum Break review.
Oh!
I cut that, our very first Easy Allies review. And it was fun hearing you talk about, the TV show that was in it.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was fun. You're like, it's not quite like the future of gaming that they're selling it to be. And it's completely evident now, 5 years later, that nobody is doing anything like that.
I totally forgot about that with Nolan and Remedy doing something together. He would for sure.
Yeah.
Remedy's always got some live action thing thrown in there.
IMAX tie-ins, Brad. IMAX tie-ins.
But no, the one that I thought, it's not exactly what they're asking for because it's not about being an expert or something, but just something that I wouldn't have I didn't expect whatsoever. Going back to Death Stranding, and how they had those songs that'll just play sometimes. You crest a certain hill or whatever, and you get to this point in the game, and they just start this song bubbling up, and it just does all this stuff to you emotionally. One of those songs, the vocalist is this New Zealand jazz singer that nobody freaking knows. I'm just what in the world? And I met her in just some small upstairs downtown show that a bass player I knew is hey, come check this thing out. Just the most random freaking encounter, and I liked her music and I bought a couple of her albums, but as far as I had known, she hadn't blown up or anything. And then there she is in Death Stranding. Okay, this is cool.
Nice.
You just reminded me of this, and I'm glad. I think I've told this before on something on a podcast or whatever, GT Time or other But when I was playing LA Noire, it's like, go find this cab driver. I'm like, all right. So I'm like following the cab driver around, and they got to cast this game full of a bunch of weirdos because they're all real faces. And then I like finally pull over the cab driver and go up, like, get out of the cab. And it's my brother's friend, Michael Cornaccia. He's like, what do you want from me? I'm like, what? Never happened and has never happened since. So I was just
so
like,
awesome.
I know the person. It's not like, oh, I hear that voice, or like, oh, it kind of looks
so
like them. Like,
good.
it was-
that
it
happened
was-
to me with
it was
Cyberpunk.
his face, like, and I shot and killed a guy my Amanda did a play with. I was like, sorry, Bruce. You can see his corpse like on the ground, like,
That's funny.
sorry, buddy.
Yeah, because Cyberpunk's thrown a lot of different people in there, and like we saw some of them ahead of time, right? Like Alana being in there and all of that. But one of their PR people is in there as an NPC, and I hadn't seen her for years.
That's right.
And I just sit down at this table, and she looks over at me, and I'm like, whoa.
It's cool. Looking so
Didn't
cool.
recognize her until that one right angle and that lighting, and like, holy crap.
It's like,
That reminded me too. Watch Dogs 2. The city. I lived in SF for like 5 years.
yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
no open world has made me. I was just like, wow, I'm here. I'm in San Francisco. It just feels like San Francisco so much.
I like the spaces in GTA 5 that aren't like popular. Like there's one like white hotel or white apartment building along the beach in California, and they nailed it. It's not like, I couldn't even tell you the name of it, but it's just like if you've gone up and down the beach, and if you've driven up to Malibu, you pass it all the time. And so it's like, it's funny that they didn't mark it because it was like important. They just were looking at it and they're like, that's so iconic. It's just such a clear thing people will remember. That's cool they put that in. It's time for bets. Next week's bet. Fall Guys Season 4 launches on March 22nd. That is this upcoming Monday. This time next week, how many people will be watching the top stream on Twitch? So just one stream, how many people that have the stream that everyone is watching? That is 3 days after this launches, when we are going to be recording next week's podcast. Brad Ellis, how many people?
2K.
2,000 people. Michael Huber. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle.
300?
No,
Hey.
Huber, I think that's a good number, dude.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pleased with that.
High
That's
and
good.
low. High and low, Brad.
High, low.
We'll see how the other team worked out. Daniel Bloodworth, what do you think?
I want on a higher end 3,003.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we're wrapping everybody.
Okay.
I want 151.
151?
I think it'll be
Scares
split.
me.
I think it'll be split.
Shit.
I just
Yeah,
don't think
that
there's going to be
scares me,
big
Jones.
whales going. I think it's going to be lots of little tiny ones. 180 was the top when we checked.
You
before
only
the
need
podcast,
like
so we'll
one
see.
mid-tier streamer to be doing it.
That's the thing. Yeah, you never
Yeah.
know. Sometimes when we see like, oh my goodness, a lot of people are streaming this. It's like, no, there's just 4, but there's just that one.
Yeah.
Has 10,000 people watching. Last week's bet, Marvel's Avengers launched Hawkeye's campaign Future Imperfect today, along with its Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 versions. I wanted to know when we recorded the podcast right now, I got the page up right now, how many likes will the last tweet at Play Avengers have?
I
Michael
was on this
Damiani,
bet.
you were.
Yeah.
Michael Damiani bet 1,100. Michael Huber bet 2,100. Bloodworth bet 153, and I bet 600. Blood and I are on the low end. Here we go. Let's do a refresh. We got the pinned tweet, doesn't count.
These
And then
ones
we-
are so intense.
And then we got a thread that was made 6 hours ago, which is hilarious. We are aware of a smaller number of users across all platforms running into a persistent crash playing the latest version of the game. We suggest using the backup save feature to work around this. You can find instructions here. There's a thread after all of that,
problems.
but we do
More
not count
problems.
replies. It's just that one. Even
Oh,
though that
okay.
even though that is not a very positive tweet, 487 people have commented on that. Giving me the win, baby.
That's a
That's
win.
closest
Jones
to
got a
600
point.
likes. Woo!
Nice, Jones. Nice.
I didn't know. I didn't know until I literally just refreshed the page. There it is right there.
I love those ones.
Anna, we're getting reports that the game doesn't literally their retweet. They didn't tweet about Black Panther. Oh my god. Like we could have lost this
What?
instantaneously.
Chaos.
They
Just
they
nothing but
quoted
chaos over
at
there.
the Black Panther that tweeted out War for Wakanda, but they don't have their own Black Panther tweet. What the heck, man?
You mean it's your own game, man.
Yeah.
You're tweeting about your own game.
They retweeted Greg Miller. What the hell's going on in this world?
The biggest ambassador of that game, honestly. Greg Miller.
This is true. No, that is definitely true. Without a doubt. Bring your scores to Jovial Penguins 8.
Wah, wah.
Vociferous Beavers 4.
Nom, 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 nom.
Delicious. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. We are 5 years old. We've been doing this for about 5 years. All that time, from the day that we started, we were operating via patreon.com/easyallies. We get funding via YouTube. We get funding via Twitch. We get some PayPal donations every now and then. Hey, if you want to just head on over there next week and donate to us, you can do that if you're not interested in Patreon. But if you go to patreon.com/easyallies, there's a lot of cool things that you can already get. There's going to be even more stuff that we're going to be adding next week. We're going to be changing up those tiers. We're going to be making things a little bit clearer than they are right now. We are all very excited about those changes. We are excited about patreon.com/easyallies every day of the year, but next week's going to be a very exciting time to be a part of Easy Allies, but particularly to make that critical decision, whether I sound good or not, whether you enjoy my voice or you just like to hear people talk about video games, to check out patreon.com/easyallies. Some people have and have donated at the absolute top tier that they could, and we are going to shout out those people right now. Bloodworth, you're going first. I'm going after you. Brad, you are going third, and then Huber, you are wrapping us up. A huge shout out to Caleb Togi Crawford, Edgar Senpai Black Clover, L. Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Stephen Thomason, and Nick.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Me? You won this podcast. I get to promote any Easy Eyes video I'd like to promote. I get the final word on anything I disagree with, want to reiterate, or just popped into my head. And I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. Gosh darn it, why didn't I win the bet next week? Because there's a thing, I can't talk about it.
Oh, well, you might.
Check out.
You never know.
I don't know, I maybe did something. Gosh darn it. I am going. Hey, you know what? No, I'm gonna shout out to Mike Huber, who's on this podcast right now. Mike Huber sat down with Britt from What's Good Games and talked about Resident Evil Village. These are two. Not only are these
not only
two,
Village, just Resident Evil.
Resident Evil in general. Not only are these two Resident Evil fans just freaking out, but it's like Huber staring at himself through like a weird void, you know? It's like two opposite ends of a battery. Like you can't, they're just, this force is so intense. They are just absolutely two mega fans of life, of gaming in general, but specifically of Resident Evil, and it's fun. It's our pinned video on our YouTube channel right now, and it auto plays every single time I put it over a YouTube page. And like if I have my headphones on, it's like it's like you're never one of you is screaming at some point throughout the video. It really is. There's a ton of energy in that, and it was wonderful for Huber to make that happen. So
fun.
Shout out, go check it out. Hey. You know what? As long as all the content's free, and as long as people can maybe check out the new next-gen versions, like, I have zero expectations for Avengers. I just don't want it to go away, But a lot of people, it's so funny. Whenever people are like, hey, Avengers is having a new thing. Is that exciting? It is. Should I play it? No. It's like, it's not a game I can just, freely recommend to people, because it is a pretty substantial grind. But the story stuff that they have, I think, is really quality. The campaign is really good. I did enjoy the story today. It's just a difficult paradigm that they're trying to shove all of this stuff into. But hey, if they get a good 2, 3, 4 years run out of this game, all of the potential story content that they add after that, and then you get involved, you're gonna have a darn good time. I don't even know what to do with myself here wrapping up this podcast. Cheers.
The bear looked amazing! I forgot about that. Oh, that bear looked good. Yeah.